A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the World News. We are reaching you live from our studios at Souqnews TV in the commercial city of Lagos. I'm Oyin Krumale. Let's begin with today's top stories. The United States approved sale of bombs and other precision rockets worth $360 million to Nigeria. And David Umai, the Minister of Works, has said that third mainland bridge rehabilitation will cost the nation 3.6 trillion naira. The African Development Bank commits $40 million to green infrastructure development in the continent of Africa. And in the global trade, India's trade deficit widens to $27.35 billion in July as U.S. trade tariff gains impact and ground. In sports, the Tigers thumb Madagascar 77-59 in Afro Basket opener. Many thanks for joining us. Now let's begin. The United States Department has cleared a possible $346 million sale of munitions, precision bombs and precision rockets to Nigeria, the Pentagon has announced. The proposed deal, which still requires final approval, is intended to enhance Nigeria's precision strike capabilities for counter-terrorism and security operations. According to U.S. officials, the package would include associated equipment, training and support to ensure operational readiness. The move underscores Washington's continued security partnership with Abuja as Nigeria faces insurgency threats and rising instability in parts of the country. Under the request, Nigeria seeks to purchase 1,002 Mk-82 general-purpose 500-pound bombs and 1,002 MXU 650 airfoil groups for Paveway 2 GBU 12515 MXU 1,006 airfoil groups for Paveway 2 GBU 58 1517 MAU 169 or MAU 209 computer control groups for Paveway 2 and GBU 12 GBU 58 1002 FMU 152. Now the joint program fuses and 5,000 advanced precision kill weapon system to all up for rounds, according to reports. Now, in sector revitalization, the President Tinubu is to vow that it will make steel sector Nigeria's industrial energy. Now President Bola Tinubu has reiterated his administration's resolve to revitalize Nigeria's steel sector as a cornerstone of industrial growth and economic diversification. Speaking at the inaugural Stakeholders Summit on the development of the steel sector in Abuja Wednesday, though the Vice President Kashim Shettima Tinubu unveiled plans to revive abandoned projects and expand industrial capacity. In a statement by Senior Special Assistant on Media and Communications Stanley Nwocha, the President said that the government had restructured the Ministry of Steel Development to spearhead the nation's industrialization drive. He emphasized that this move underscores his administration's commitment to fully harness Nigeria's mineral wealth by extracting, processing, and commercializing vast steel resources. Tinubu described the steel industry as pivotal to infrastructure development, job creation, and recovery resilience, stressing that the sector's revival will provide the backbone for manufacturing, construction, and other key industries. He assured stakeholders of a transparent and collaborative approach to ensure that the steel sector becomes a competitive global player. Now we move on to cleaner energy. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, has raised the National Agency for Science and Engineering infrastructure Nasani for advancing affordable and cleaner energy solutions through the newly established Nasani Portland CNG Conversion Training Center and refuel stations in Kubwa, the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, represented by Honorable Alex Mascot Ikweje. At the inauguration, Abbas described the initiative as timely and impactful, noting that its potential to improve Nigeria's quality of life. He also said that energy transitions are never just about technology. They are about the quality of life for our people. We must commend the leadership of Nasani for making life easier for Nigerian citizens, said the speaker. The CNG hub is expected to play a critical role in supporting Nigeria's shift towards cleaner fuels, reducing carbon emissions, and offering cost-effective energy alternatives for motorists. Abbas urged other agencies and stakeholders to emulate Nasani's innovation in promoting sustainable energy for national development. Now, moving on in the news, the bridge rehabilitation, talking about the third mainland bridge. The Minister of Works and Housing, David Umahi, has revealed that structural rehabilitation of Lagos State third mainland bridge will cost about 3.6 trillion naira, citing extensive underway damage as a major concern. Speaking after Wednesday's Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja, Umahi said that recent assessments showed severe deterioration to the bridge's piles and piers, caused largely by illegal sand mining, erosion, and corrosion. He noted that building a new bridge could cost slightly less, around 3.6 trillion naira, raising questions over the best long-term solution. The minister warns that urgent intervention is needed to safeguard the structural integrity of Nigeria's busiest bridge and ensure safety of millions of commuters who rely on it daily. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria has unveiled the bank's customers' bill of rights and obligations outlining protection and entitlements for banking clients nationwide. The document, released during the CBN fair in Lagos, themed driving alternative payment channels as tools for financial inclusion, growth, and accelerated economic development, sets out key rights, including the right to be informed, the right to choose, and the right to safety, and the right to privacy and confidentiality, and the right to redress. Other provisions guarantee customers the right to good service, equality, and the free-month statement of account. The bill also details obligations for customers to ensure responsible banking relationships. According to the CBN, the move aims to promote transparency, strengthen trust between banks and their clients, and deepen financial inclusion by safeguarding customers' interest. Now, moving on in the news, the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, has completed an upgrade of its diaspora enrollment plan to improve service delivery and streamline national identification number, NIN, registration for Nigerians abroad. In a statement, NIMC said the enhanced system will offer a more seamless, secure, and efficient process for enrollment, ensuring better management and faster service delivery. As part of the upgrade, the Commission has onboarded its diaspora front-end partners to new platform and provided intensive training to ensure effective use and administration. The Commission directed all diaspora FEPs to obtain and activate their enrollment licenses on the upgraded system within 48 hours. Nigerians abroad can then access NIN enrollment services from partners who meet compliance requirements, according to reports. Now, moving on, the Nigerian American petroleum geologist, a Nigerian Mr. Sheye Ekun, has been elected Vice President of the American Association of Petroleum Geologists, African region, for the term July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. According to a statement by the AAPG Africa region, Ekun joined the association in 2000 as a full voting member and had held several leadership positions, including treasurers of the African region between 2020 and 2022. He had coordinated the AAPG Imperial Barrel Award programs, organized the first AAPG Geoscience Technology Workshop in Africa, and had been a member of the Enhancing Mutual Fields Life Cycles Committee since 2017. The statement added that Ekun was recognized this year for 25 years of membership and received the AAPG Distinguished Service Awards in the year 2023. You're still watching the world news on Souqnews TV. We're going to break. We'll be back shortly. Do stay with us.
Welcome to the Africa Development Studies Center, ADSC. ADSC is an organization focused on training and research to advance sustainable development and growth in Africa. We exist to facilitate customized training, research, and study exchanges worldwide on leadership, management, and critical development issues. The center offers a platform for the exchange of ideas and best practices. Our comprehensive services encompass research, consultancy, capacity building, training, and education programs, as well as publishing and disseminating development-related knowledge. Our faculty consists of experts and researchers with extensive experience in policy formulation, implementation techniques, and monitoring and evaluation. Our methodology involves talks, individual and group exercises, games, video screenings, and discussion seminar sessions in a cozy atmosphere, making learning enjoyable for our participants. For more information, email us at info@adstudiecenter.com or call +234 912 039 2362. Visit our website at www.adstudiecenter.com to learn more about our programs and upcoming events. Africa Development Studies Center, rethinking development for Africa.
Afrobeats is a classic overnight success story, except it didn't happen overnight. I'm happy to be here. One of the key things about the Omniverse is that it's designed to go beyond an event and designed to be fully something that people can engage beyond the summit. The point being that Nigeria has so much to bring to the world in terms of these things, but we will be bringing fresh energy, fresh ideas, a fresh engagement, and we're obviously open to collaboration. But hip-hop, it never dies. What's the difference between Thor and Shango? Thor is approaching $50 billion in revenue. Shango's broke somewhere outside Lagos. And that's a lack of imagination on our part, Africa, and they're all Nigerian. So to be seen and to be noticed is very hard if you're not in the place where all the noise is being made.
Many thanks for joining us on the World News on Souqnews TV. Now, the African Development Bank Group has committed $40 million to the Alliance for Green Infrastructure in Africa Project Development Fund, anchoring its first close at $118 million. In a statement by the APO Group on behalf of the AFDB, the milestone was hailed as a major step towards mobilizing blended capital for developing a pipeline of investment-ready green infrastructure projects across Africa. The AGIAPD brings together a coalition of development finance institutions, public agencies, philanthropic organizations, and private investors, including the KfW, which is the German Development Bank, the West African Development Bank Board, the UK's Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, the Three Keynes Group, and the Soros Economic Development Fund. AFDB's investment includes $20 million in grants, $10 million in commercial equity, and $10 million in junior equity from the Sustainable Energy Fund for Africa, which it manages. Now, moving on, South Africa rand edged lower in early on Thursday trade pausing after a two-day rally driven by a weakened United States dollar at 0.641 GMT. The rand traded at 17.56 against the dollar, down at 0.3% from Wednesday's close. The currency had gained over 1% earlier in the week after softer United States inflation data boosted expectations of a Federal Reserve interest rate cut in September. Analysts at the ETM Analytics noted that the rand's strength was largely tied to a wave of dollar selling and improved global market sentiment. Rising commodity prices, recording breaking Bitcoin levels, and gains in global stock markets further supported the local currency against a weakening dollar backdrop. Now, with no major South African economic data due this week, traders expect the rand's direction to be driven by international market trends. In South Africa, benchmark 2035 government bond was steady in early trade, with yields easing slightly to 9.605%. Now, over 30 boats carrying about 600 irregular migrants have reached Spain's Balearic Islands since Monday, signaling the rise of a new migration route from North Africa. Now, most vessels departed from Algeria, with arrivals in the islands up to 170% in the first half of 2025 to around 3,000 people, even as overall irregular migration to Spain declines. The number of boats reaching the Balearics has more than doubled compared to last year. Officials said a notable share of the new arrivals are from the East Africa region, including South Sudanese nationals fleeing regional instability. Migrants report paying thousands of dollars to make the perilous 46-hour crossing from Algeria, often running out of food and water en route local. Authorities warn that the island risks becoming the next major entry point to Europe, similar to Canary Islands during the 2024 peak. The Balearic region leader, Maga Prohinis, has demanded greater law enforcement resources and closer cooperation with Algeria, accusing Madrid of inaction. The Spanish government is pledged to expand the island's capacity to manage arrivals. But reports have emerged of migrants left for hours in parks due to shelter shortages before being transferred to the mainland. Now, Turkey's central bank has maintained its year-end inflation forecast at 24%, signaling confidence in its policy direction despite skepticism from markets and businesses. Governor Fatih Kahran confirmed the projection in the bank's quarterly report, noting that the target aligns with the short-term policy objectives. The bank's long-term aim remains to reduce inflation to 5%, although the 2026 forecast was revised upward from 12% to 16%. Policymakers said that their adjustment reflects evolving economic conditions while keeping focus on structural reforms to tame price growth. The decision underscores the central bank's commitment to gradual disinflation path, even as external factors such as currency volatility and global commodity prices continue to pose a risk to its targets. Now, still, the Turkish central bank has signaled a cautious approach to further interest rate cuts, stressing that the monetary policy will not follow a predetermined path. Governor Fatih stated this: each decision will be based on a thorough review of inflation data according to market expectations and potential risks to economic stability. The bank began reducing borrowing costs last month, but has maintained a commitment to a tight policy stance to safeguard against inflationary pressures. Officials emphasize that the pace and scale of future cuts will depend on economic outcomes at the time of each meeting. Market analysts said that this measure aims to balance growth and support with inflation control. As Turkey navigates shifting global economic trends and domestic cost pressures, the approach is expected to provide flexibility while keeping investor confidence intact, according to the bank's policy direction. Now, according to Threat, the Swiss bank has held talks with senior executives from the Roche Holdings AG and Novartis AG to address growing concerns over the impact of United States trade tariff. Switzerland was recently subjected to a 39% tariff rate by the United States, significantly higher than 15% applied to the neighboring European Union. Although pharmaceuticals are currently exempted from the tariffs, President Donald Trump has warned that measures on the sector could be introduced. Such a move would threaten one of the Switzerland's most important export industries, value for its innovation and global market reach. Officials and industry leaders are now working to assess potential risk and prepare strategic responses should pharmaceutical exports be targeted. Analysts also warn that additional tariffs could disrupt supply chains, inflate costs, and undermine Switzerland's competitive advantage in the global healthcare market. Now, oil prices climbed on Thursday as markets weighed the potential impact of an upcoming United States-Russia summit on Ukraine and the future of Russian crude exports. Brent crude futures gained 0.7% to $66.08 per barrel, while United States West Texas Intermediate futures rose by 0.7% to $63.09. The gains followed a two-month low in previous session after bearish supply guidance from the United States government and the International Energy Agency. The market focus is on Friday's meeting between President Donald Trump and President Vladimir Putin in Alaska, where threats of secondary sanctions on buyers of Russian oil, including China and India, are adding a bullish risk premium. Analysts warn that any failure to secure progress toward a ceasefire could lead to tighter global oil supply, despite spare production capacity within the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and rising non-OPEC output. Expectations of a United States Federal Reserve interest rate cut in September also supported prices, with traders almost fully pricing in a quarter-point reduction following softer inflation and weak jobs. It's still the world news on Souqnews Television. We'll be back in a moment after this break to stay.
At the African Development Studies Center, ADSC, we are committed to driving sustainable growth and development across Africa through innovative training and research. Our mission: empowering leaders, policymakers, and professionals with the tools they need to create lasting change. With customized training, dynamic research programs, and study exchanges on leadership, management, and other critical development topics, ADSC offers a platform for exchanging cutting-edge ideas and global best practices. We provide comprehensive services in research and consultancy, capacity building and training, education programs, publishing and knowledge sharing. Our esteemed faculty, composed of seasoned experts and researchers, ensures a learning experience that is insightful and practical. We specialize in policy development, implementation strategies, and monitoring and evaluation. At ADSC, learning is engaging and enjoyable. Our unique methodology includes talks, interactive exercises, games, video screenings, and lively seminar discussions, all in a comfortable and friendly environment. For more information, email us at info@adstudiescenter.com or call +234 912 039 2362. Visit our website www.adstudiescenter.com to explore our programs and upcoming events. African Development Studies Center, rethinking development for Africa.
Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us on the news. Now, India's trade deficit expanded sharply in July 2025 to $27.35 billion, surpassing economists' expectations of $21.5 billion, according to official data released on Thursday. The figure marks a significant jump from June's $18.78 billion cap, driven by a faster rise in imports compared with exports. Economists noted that the larger-than-expected deficit could exert pressure on India's currency and trade balance in the coming months. The increase reflects strong domestic demand for imported goods, while export growth remains constrained by a weaker global demand and trade headwinds, according to reports. Now, moving on, Bitcoin hit a fresh all-time high of $24,000 earlier Thursday as investors flocked to cryptocurrencies on optimism over President Donald Trump's pro-crypto reforms and the growing expectations of a U.S. Federal Reserve interest rate cuts in September. The world's largest cryptocurrency by market value jumped 0.9%, briefly surpassing its July peak before easing to around $121,500. The surge follows a breakout from $116,000 earlier this week, a move analysts said signals strong buying momentum and robust demand. Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency, also climbed to $4,700, its highest level since the latest 2021, on the back of sustained institutional interest. Data from CoinGecko shows Bitcoin and Ether now make up roughly 70% of the total cryptocurrency market. Now, Bitcoin's market capitalization has surged to $2.5 trillion, while Ethereum's has grown to nearly $575 billion, underscoring the dominance of the two digital assets in the ongoing crypto rally. Now, Europe is witnessing a rapid surge in air conditioning installation as prolonged summer heat waves become a recurring reality in regions where cooling systems were once considered unnecessary or culturally unwelcomed. Household, businesses, and public facilities are now investing heavily to adapt to record high temperatures affecting health comfort and productivity. The growing demand has created significant opportunities for appliance manufacturers, installation firms, and energy providers, while also rising concerns about higher electricity consumption and strain on power grid. Industry analysts noted that this shift reflects both an urgent adaptation to climate change and a new growth segment in the European consumer market. The government and environmental groups are calling for a balance between cooling needs and sustainability by promoting energy-efficient air conditioning units, renewable powered systems, and urban design that mitigate heat retention. As temperatures continue to climb, the pace of adoption is expected to accelerate, reshaping both energy consumption patterns and the built environment across Europe. The United States Treasury Department is set to release a new tax guideline next week that could jeopardize the financial viability of hundreds of planned wind and solar energy projects. The decision follows an order by President Donald Trump to tighten long-standing rules used to determine eligibility for clean energy tax credits. Industry stakeholders warn that the move could halt billions of dollars in renewable energy investments and stall progress toward the country's transition to low-carbon power. Many projects, particularly those in nearly development stages, may be unable to proceed without the certainty of these tax incentives. This policy shift forms part of a broader Trump administration campaign to scale back. And now in sports, Nigeria's The Tigers opened their 2025 FIBA AfroBasket campaign with a commanding 77-59 victory over Madagascar in their Group B opener on Wednesday in Luanda, Angola. The win marks Nigeria's second triumph over Madagascar in the tournament's history, following a 112-81 result in 2011 edition led by coach Mohamed Abdulrahman. The Tigers started strong, taking the first quarter 18-14. However, Madagascar fought back in the second quarter, edging it 23-20 to narrow the gap to 38-37 at halftime. The Nigerians pulled away in the second half with improved defense and efficient scoring, ultimately sealing a comfortable win to set the tone for their title quest. The Tigers, who are chasing their second continental crown, will aim to build on these performances as they continue their group stage campaign. Now, Chelsea's player will share a bonus pot of £11.4 million after winning the Club World Cup, with a part of the money set aside for a touching gesture in a joint decision with the club. The squad will donate a portion of their bonus to the family of late Liverpool winner Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva, who played for Portuguese side Penafiel. The donation comes from Chelsea's share of the £87 million prize money earned from their triumph. Our tributes to Jota and Silva are also expected across the opening weekend of the Premier League season, according to reports. Now, Jota and Silva tragically died in a car crash in Spain on July 3rd, leaving the football community in shock. Chelsea said the move reflects the sports solidarity in moments of loss. Now, that's a wrap on the news, but before we go, a brief recap of our top stories. Now, $46 million hardware purchase. The United States approved sale of bombs and other precision rockets worth $346 million to the federal government of Nigeria. And David Umahi, the Minister of Works, has said that the third mainland bridge rehabilitation will cost the nation 3.6 trillion naira. African Development Bank commits $40 million to green infrastructure development in the continent of Africa. And India's trade deficit widens to $27.35 billion in the month of July as U.S. trade tariff impact gains ground. And in sports, the Afro basket opener, Nigeria, trumped Madagascar 77-59. Many thanks for watching. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms, Souqnews TV. I am Oyin Priye Krumale. Good afternoon to you.